Good afternoon, Doggies fans. Hope you've all had a good week, and it's the Bark Recap. A special major semi-final edition from last week's Jersey Flegg victory over the Roosters. The Dogs winning 26-6 against first place Roosters. And we're going to look at that game, and also we'll show some highlights of the game and some pictures. And so this week, there's no game, obviously. We're into the grand final, and the Roosters will play the Eels for a chance to play us at Bankwest next weekend. I think it's on Sunday afternoon. So let's look at the Jersey Flegg major semi-final. So the game was played at Leichhardt Oval on a beautiful day, fantastic conditions. We actually had a late change before the game started. Zach Montgomery came in for Tim Johansson, who did suffer an injury in the Sharks game the week before. So Zach was on the bench. So early on, the first 5 minutes, was a bit more the Roosters than the Dogs. There was a bit of miscommunication there between Mazzoni and Papali'i, and that gave possession to the Roosters. And they did score first, attacking the line with some short passing and put them over, and it was 6-0. But we had some good early work, I thought, from prop Jack Todd, putting on a good hit and also taking plenty of carries and using that late sort of step he's incorporated before the line. I'm really liking what I see there from Jack. And I also thought that Afuala was getting involved early on in sets, just taking a bit of the heat off his forwards, which was good to see. And then we saw Carl Oluwapu just came into the game. Was doing everything. He was going deep into the line and just creating havoc on that left-hand side. So he combined with his half, Joey O'Neill, who grubbered through for Mazzoni to pounce on in goal, and that put the Dogs behind by 2. It was 6-4 after 12 minutes. And then we had to retreat in defence. The Roosters made a couple of half breaks and got downfield, and they were attacking our line, but Harry Hayes put on a really good one-on-one, wrapping up the ball and tackling him on the last, and that stopped the Roosters from scoring. And then not long after that, Oluwapu threatening the left side again with his stepping, opened them up, and finding Gabriel, who then threw the last pass to Mazzoni for his second. Great footwork from Oluwapu and Papali'i, and kick from the sideline. And we're up 10-6 after 20 minutes. Then Zach Montgomery came onto the field fresh and added a bit of venom against his former club. Put a good hit on, forcing the ball loose. And a crucial try a couple of minutes before half-time, where Papali'i, as he does, he gets involved around the rucks, and he's scooting and weaving and ducking, and he floated a ball to the left, or to our right edge, and found Luke Smith, and he crashed over through the Roosters' left-hand side, and we were up 16-6 at half-time. Second half began with a really good gang tackle, which was led by Carl Oluwapu on young Brandy Alexander, put him into touch. I just thought the effort in that, it really showed that the team was up for this and willing to go on with it in the second half. And the defence in the second half was just really solid. It was a combination of great defensive work and, putting up good kicks and good kick chase and just keeping the Roosters at bay. And we scored 2 tries to nil in the second half. And the first one came through Geordie Mazzoni, again from Carl Oluwapu going more direct to the line. He used a bit of footwork and then found Joash Papali'i on his inside, who used quick hands onto Gabriel. And then he drew Mazzoni, and it was a well-structured play, and we were up 20-6. And then lastly, Ruben Moyle out of dummy half scooted and found a flat pass to Damien Marshall, who was charging, and scored under the posts, and it was 26-6. Cherry on top of the icing, as the commentator said. because, yeah, Dane Marshall was fantastic in the game and really deserved that final try on the bell. So looking at some of the individual performances, so, yeah, I was really proud of the performance. It was such a good team performance. Every single one of them played really well. To single, players out, it's kind of unjust, but I will make special mention of certain players. I thought Hopwoy had a good second stint in the second half. Was very busy, ran the ball up the middle and defended well. I thought Jack Todd, as I mentioned earlier, his footwork before the line for a big fella, he just creates, a little bit of uncertainty amongst the opposition with his running and going to the line. He can offload as well. Damon Marshall offloaded and was so busy in defence. Yeah, he looks like a player who takes real pride in his work when he's trying to read the opposition defence. It's really good to see. Thought Harry Hayes running off Oloapu on the left was great, and some of his defensive work and clean up in defence. Made a couple of good try-saving tackles as well. Carl Oloapu, I thought he was probably our best. Just he's running, and stepping and holding the ball out in two hands, and you don't know what he's going to do. And, we need that kind of creativity. And I know Gus has mentioned how he thinks he's a long-term lock, but at the moment I'm seeing him as a 5'8". I don't know when, he'll be ready to come back into the NRL team. I wouldn't want to rush him, but I think the signs are there. It's just bringing him through at the right time, and probably when we need, a more dominant pack in the NRL, and he's really going to flourish. Thought Joash Papali'i was fantastic again. His positioning when retrieving the kicks, scooting out a dummy half, and he's always around backing up around the rucks. Smith's defensive work. He's a guy that he's a real toiler, Luke Smith. He sort of grinds his way into games. Just when you don't think that he's going to break the line, and he just does, and then he pops an offload. Like, he had a couple of great offloads, late offloads. He's really an unheralded type player, and who just gives his all. Real heart player. Toilalo came on in the second half and brought great impact, and post-contact runs was really good. Joey O'Neill, sorry. I thought he utilised more of a running game in this game, probably because Carl Oloapu was getting a little bit more of the ball in his hands. So O'Neill, kicked and ran really well. They combined, the two of them, really good in this game. There's so much to like. I'm so looking forward to it. We've got to keep this team together as long as possible. I don't think Luan Vito got on the field. He was on the bench, wasn't utilised. So I thought the two of the biggest things in this game were our starts to sets. The start of our attacking sets, I don't know if Joash Papali'i had to take any kick from the ground. He caught everything. It just got us on the front foot with every attacking set. And then defensively, Joey O'Neill's kicks were just well weighted, but they were backed up by a good kick chase. And that's not often what we see in NRL. It's sometimes just those little effort areas that is lacking. And, that really started off our defensive sets. And that can set the tone for the whole defensive set, is by, getting players down there and making the tackle in a good position on the field, and then you just set your line to go again. And I thought those two areas of the game we did really well. So looking at the grand final next week, I don't know the injury concerns of the players, but I'd probably look to make the one change, and that's no disrespect to Vito. I know he didn't get on the field, but I'd probably, if Joe Hansen is ready to go, I'd put him back into the team on the bench. I think a middle rotation of Hot Boy and Todd starting with Johansson and Tuilalo coming on off the bench, and then you've got Zach Montgomery who can cover middle and edge. It just gives us a little bit more balance. And Vito, he hasn't had a lot of time in the flag team. He has played a little bit, but I just think that with the more experience of Montgomery, with his time in Cup, I would probably just lean to go that way. And then you've got the likes of Smith and Hayes who can play 70 minutes. So you could then use Montgomery as another middle forward. That's the way I would go. But yeah, we'll see how the next week pans out. And yeah, really proud of the boys. Congratulations. And looking forward to next week. Let's sit back and enjoy the Roosters and the Eels bashing each other up this week, eh? See you guys.